see the way they hate. And I know better than to listen to the people who are calling us slaves. I can feel the sunlight shining.
Well, good morning. Welcome to episode 844 of the Lost Project Morning Show, where the coffee's strong, the opinions are stronger, and everything is always filter-free. I'm Brian, your host, and today it is June 23rd, 2025. This morning, I'm enjoying a fresh cup of light Ethiopian from foodforestfarms.com because life's too short for shitty coffee. At Food Forest Farms, your beans are roasted by real human hands using a clean stream air roaster. More than just a customer, your family. You can get 10% off at Food Forest Farms with code LOTS10, and shipping is always free. While you're there, check out the C4 Club for more awesome perks. Great C4 Club order came in this week. Middle of the week, got a bunch of light Ethiopian, my favorite, and some other cool beans to try. So check out C4 Club over at foodforestfarms.com. Today we've got a packed show again, from the steamy weather here in Tennessee to some K&B website and product changes. Electrical gremlins return into the truck, and a bit of commentary on the global rumblings of war. Bang that war drum. And so we'll talk about that a little bit. Grab your coffee, smash the like button, and let's get started. Good morning. How we doing, Mike Homestead? How we doing over there? How you liking the weather here in Tennessee? It's it is what it is. It is what it was last summer, and it's just the transition this year was a little abrupt from rainy season to now this, and I guess rainy season isn't over. I'll talk about that in just a bit. And Jim, how we doing? Are you down in Florida now, or are you up in New York? Both have had some interesting weather. I saw a bunch of storms went through central New York. I don't think as far over as where you are, but out in Western New York a little bit, I think. So, still in Florida. Is it hot and steamy down there at the moment? But anyway, let's get to that weather. It's been pretty sticky here lately in the last week, I guess. It's been about the last week. It rained. I talked about that last week on the show, and it just constantly raining. It's massive amounts of rain. It wasn't just like a few showers here and there. It was we were getting multiple inch downpours at different points, and day after day after day. At one point, it washed out our new driveway out at the property, and it's made things difficult to get accomplished. A, because it's been so wet, and B, because when the rain stops, the sun comes out, and it just, everything grows like crazy. I think I spent the majority of the time this season so far weed eating out at Delinquent's Gully, just trying to keep up with the growth on the trails and the cleared areas and things that we want to keep cleared just from overgrowing. Our site was about chest high before I got to that. The got up there to get that cleared a little bit. One good thing about that is we got to see how the pad prep, I guess you'd call it, the site prep for where we're going to be putting our roof structure. Gentleman that did our driveway cleared a nice patch and leveled it out. Pulled it off the topsoil and took laser level and got everything leveled for the area that we want to put the roof structure on. And so I went out after a couple of big rains, and it's solid. One little corner was a little wet, had a little bit of mud on the top, but the rest of it, even though it is bare ground and just soil, exposed soil, it was really solid. So I was excited about that. Yeah, we'll see. We'll have to put a little drainage around the one side, I think if you recall back when we were trying to figure out the spot we wanted to put the cabin out there, this was kind of the one of the few choices we had, and it had a decent slope to the spot. Nothing that we couldn't overcome, and I was trying to figure out actually how much it was over a 40-foot span. So you stand there and you look at it and you're like, well, that looks pretty flat. You got growth on top of it, weeds or grass or whatever. Excuse me. And then B, you got a gradual a gradual slope over 40 feet or so. It can change significantly and not be that drastic to the naked eye. So when he came out and he used his laser level, he shot the level and smoothed it with equipment. It was a decent drop. I would say probably 8 to 10 inches across the whole thing. I got a big ass fly flying around here. He's attracted to the ring light behind the camera, so that'll be fun to deal with here this morning. Been trying to get a hold of him for a couple days now. He's just been a menace in the trailer. But I would say 8 to 10 inches. I think that drop was, maybe more, that he cut an edge. So once we have our posts in and once we have the structure outline set, we're going to come back in and put some drainage around the outside, put a swale around down into a little collection point. But right now it just didn't make sense to do that. And even with that drop and where he cut that in, it still didn't accumulate a lot of water in the rain. So I'm excited about that. But the rain has kind of subsided here, and now it's just like the water is stuck in the air. It's been hot, sticky, humid. Heat indexes in the 110 to 115 range the last few days over the weekend. I feel really bad for the dogs. We try to get them out early and get them for a longer walk, at least in the morning before it gets too warm. But I can only imagine wearing a fur coat out in this weather. It's definitely sticky. It gets hard to breathe. And it really wouldn't be horrible, but we haven't gotten rid of the rain, at least in our particular area. I posted it in the Telegram group the last couple of days, and it's been almost the same time both days. We get these random downpours in the evening now around 4-5 o'clock. We just looked out the window on Saturday and it was absolutely downpouring, and I was like, wait a second. The radar was clear. I had checked the weather a little bit before that. The radar was completely clear, and pulled up the radar again, and it was almost like there was a bullseye over our location on the whole radar. I zoomed in even a little bit. There were some spotty showers, probably 80 miles away, 90 miles away. But the only thing was centralized, and it was definitely an intense rain. Had the yellow marking on the radar. So I don't know what the deal is with our particular location. And then again, yesterday, the same thing happened. It just opened up about 5 o'clock, and Corey's like, it's raining. I'm like, what the fuck? How is that happening? And same thing, pulled up the radar, and it was a little bigger patch this time, but yeah, just centralized right over us, and nothing in the area other than that. So it's tough. It's tough. I was able to get a bunch of stuff done outside yesterday here at the camper, and because I got some stuff to take care of. Oh, that's a announcement. No show next week. Gonna have to skip next week. I will be back after 4th of July, I think is when I will be doing another show. So yeah, no show on the 30th. I will be back and doing a show on the 7th. Thinking about trying to get one recorded and put out for the audio. I'm not sure if that's going to happen. I got a bunch to do. But yeah, I got some stuff to take care of and won't be around on Monday morning. So just a heads up on that. But I got a bunch of stuff done outside. Our grass is growing ridiculous amounts here at the camper, and the landowner was going to be, he was mowing last week, and it was super wet. It had just stopped raining, and so we had tents set up for like a screen tent, and then a pop-up canopy tent for doing some woodworking outside, because we don't have anywhere to do it inside. And so we had these tents up next to the camper, and the grass was just growing up ridiculously around them. And I told Corey it was getting kind of long on the rest of the yard where he can mow normally. And so I was going to get the tents down. I was going to move all our wood. That's where we were storing our stock lumber, was on a table wrapped in a tarp underneath the screen tent. And so I told her I was going to move all that stuff and get the tents taken down. And I was sitting here on Friday, and I was working on some stuff, and maybe it was Thursday. And yeah, it was Thursday. I was working on finishing up the website for the woodworking. And I hear the lawnmower outside, and I was like, what the hell? And so I go outside, and it had literally downpoured for about 9 hours. Like, we got 3 to 4 inches in about 9 hours. And he was out on the mower, and I was like, holy crap, I can't believe he's mowing right now. So I run out. I was like, I think I can get all this stuff taken down, so by the time he gets over to that side of the camper, he can mow all this shit, because it's getting pretty ridiculous. And so I'm busting my ass. I'm like, I get the pop-up canopy down. I get some tables moved. I start unloading all the lumber over onto our we have outdoor carpets outside the camper doors. So I was getting move everything onto that where the grass wasn't growing. And I'm just like drenched in sweat. I'm like trying to wrestle all this lumber out. I'm moving everything, trying to figure out how I'm going to do it. I got to pop this tent down, which goes down pretty quick. But he comes around the side, and I'm slipping as I'm walking, because the ground is so wet and mushy and muddy underneath the grass. And so I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe he's mowing. And so he comes and he swings by on the side, and he stops the mower. And he's like, hey, my weed eater is in the shop. I'm not probably going to be able to get to doing next to the camper and stuff till next week. I was like, well, I don't know if you're going to want to mow over here. It's pretty wet. If you want to come over and walk on it, I think you might spin out or something. And he walks over. He goes, oh yeah. He goes, if you don't mind telling me, he says, I'll wait till Monday to do this side till it dries up. And I'm like, oh no, that'd be perfect. As I'm just like totally drenched in sweat. And I had planned on doing moving all the wood the next morning, first thing, when it was a little cooler. And he's like, oh, okay, no problem. I was like, all right, well, I'll get all this stuff moved by the end of the weekend. You can come back on Monday and finish up over here. So that's what I did yesterday. I got that all moved and broke down, and everything wrapped up, and just I can't wait to have a little structure built and have someplace to do that inside and store it inside, where we can store our tools and keep everything out and not have to unpack and repack everything just to get a little bit of a job done. So make things way easier. But we'll get the grass mowed this week. Speaking of stuff I moved, I had Corey's got a nice little garden going outside. We're growing peppers and marigolds. She started some herbs. I'm not sure. I think it was cilantro and some other things. They went kind of sideways. We did start some lettuce. With the heat, the lettuce is not very happy. But the peppers we have, we started a jalapeno plant and a cayenne pepper plant, and they are absolutely loving this weather, the hot, humid, steamy weather. The jalapeno has been producing one huge jalapeno a week. There's 3 or 4 left on it still, but it was almost like it was succession planted somehow. We bought them starts from Lowe's, I believe, but the jalapeno immediately put on fruit, and they started growing, and they were growing like one would grow and then the next one was a little smaller, and the next one was a little smaller, and it's been like once a week we were able to harvest one that was really big, and it's been really good to have those, and they tasted great. We didn't get anything from the cayenne for a long time. It didn't even flower, and then all of a sudden it went crazy and flowers everywhere. And right now we have a couple dozen cayennes on there that are nice, getting nice size. They're still really green, but then flowers just popped everywhere. So I think it's the peppers are really loving this weather, and so we got those in pots and able to move those a little bit. So that's nice to have a little bit of growing something, get that bug back, get that bug scratched a little bit after we did so much of that when we were up in Minnesota. So that is good. But I think the hot weather is here to stay over the next few months. That's just how it rolls here. This was about the time of year that Corey's parents came out last year, and it was just absolutely it was hot. It was over 100 real temp and not real feel while they were out here. So they decided to decline and put their trip off until fall this year. So we'll be excited to see them this coming fall. Yeah, so I don't think I have anything more on the weather. I mentioned the K&B website is officially done. That was a little bit of a learning curve on there. I had never really done products that some were shippable, some weren't shippable. That they had so many different weights and sizes and things like that. And no local pickup or having local pickup. I'd never done local pickup as far as doing it on a website. So that was an interesting learning curve. AI helped a ton, being able to ask it questions and get basically a open-ended internet search on questions and ways to handle things. There's so many different ways you can handle stuff in WordPress. Just giving it the options, giving it parameters, and giving it the problem. But got a website up, and it is what it is. It's pretty simple. I thought it turned out nice. You can find it at kandcustombuilt.com, KANDB, custom with a K, custombuilt.com. Yeah, it is. It's just a simple site to get up. And along with that, I designed a little bit of a flyer to throw out at the gas stations and the community boards and things around town and around the local area for those things that we can't ship, the bigger items like the custom farm tables, the picnic tables. Have the stock lumber for a bench design. I'm looking forward to building. Just it hasn't happened quite yet, and I don't know if it's going to happen this week or not. It's going to be a busy week, but yeah, just get eyes on the site. Got the first flyer up at the gas station in town, the local one here. I went in and I had a flyer printed out, and one of the owners was in there, and I said, hey, mind if I put a flyer in the window? So when you're walking up, the parking lot is on the side of the building. They got this big window with window panes in it, and they have all sorts of stuff in the window panes, like local fundraisers and garage sales and things like that, flyers for everything and in the windows. And I said, hey, mind if I put my flyer up in your window? She's like, no, you can put it in the door. I was like, wait, what? And so they got a big plate glass door, like most gas stations. And she's like, no, just you can put it in the door. You don't need to put it in the panes of the windows. And so I was very appreciative of that, and was able to put that right in at eye level in the door, and maybe get some traffic on that. So that was nice. I have a bunch more flyers printed out that I will hopefully distribute through local places that I go, thinking Tractor Supply and several other places down in Savannah, which is a little bigger town, and then other directions out north and local area. Reached out to a couple of farmers markets. One just decided not to write me back. Another one is full until fall. So got to wait till fall on that one, and just still looking into some craft fairs and craft markets to go out and sell some stuff in person. So we'll see. There is a bunch of, I don't know if they're one or two, I shouldn't say a bunch. Well, I think it's one or two, they're like flea markets in a town near us. And I don't know if it's the right traffic for what we're selling, but I've looked into that a little bit. I think one is free to set up, so that's always been an option. And there are some other products that we're thinking about taking down there and just setting up on one of the tables. And then there is paid tables across the street. So I don't know if you've ever been to Crump, Tennessee, but it's right along the Tennessee River, and it's an interesting place. I've yet to go. I've yet to walk through the flea markets. We've gone to lunch across the street from it, but never gone and actually walked through the flea markets. From the road, it looks like it's a lot of possibly plant sales, and then your typical flea market fare. Excuse me. So I don't know. We'll see. Just kind of getting stock built up as we are, and working on logistics and things like that. So along that line, I also did figure out that the way I was making the pips on our dice, I talked about pips last week or the week before, and how we were making yard dice, and I did the research on how the pips are laid out. Got them drilled. We got the first test one drilled, and this is kind of why we do a test product. Wasn't really happy with the results. Basically, I used for some of them I used a Forester bit, and some I used a spade bit. The bit was too large to begin with. I did look up and do some calculations, and I did end up going too big with the hole, which is one issue. Jim says consider putting a calendar of events where you're going to be on your website. Yeah, once I figure out where we're going to be, that definitely will be a thing for sure, and on the Facebook page and things like that. So first I made the pips too big. Second, I used a Forester bit and a spade bit. We're kind of talking about it in the Telegram group, and Chris Dixon suggested a great idea for grinding off the tip of one of the Forester bits. I don't know if you know what a Forester bit is, but it's a round bit. It's got a point in the middle for centering it and getting it started. And the problem was, and it really wasn't a problem, I didn't mind the hole in the middle of the pip. I didn't mind it. That wasn't one of the issues that was bothering me. After he said it, I was more focused on it. But he said, you could start with the one with the tip, and once you get the hole started, we could use the one that the tip was grounded out, finish that out, and make it a smooth hole. The things that were bothering me were using the hand drill, and so many different so many holes. I wasn't getting consistent depth. You could put tape on the bit. It is what it is. It doesn't hold up. It moves. It slides. And when you're doing something that small, any change is significant. So a change from a quarter to an eighth is a huge difference. But any variation in depth. And then the other problem was keeping the drill square and level to the piece, with the die being small and holding it on the table, and holding the drill with one hand, trying to figure out how to maybe clamp it. It was it wasn't done right. So there was variations of angle. There was so a little tilt on some of them once contacted the wood. So the holes weren't all right. Some of them were a little oblong, some of them a little wonky, some of them the bottom of the depth was angled a little bit. So it was I'm not happy with it. We are going to put them to use. We're not going to throw them out or anything. We have done some testing on painting the pips and things like that, and we have an outlet for them, so that's good. But we kind of put a hold on the dice and also the dominoes we're planning on making until we have a better solution for making the pips. And the solutions we really came up with were either getting a drill press or a laser engraver, and we were kind of going back and forth with which tool would be more multi-purpose, which tool makes can benefit us on more projects. We started listing out the different things that both of them would take care of in the future. Jim says, "Isn't that the part of handmade charm? Any monkey can run a drill press." Yeah, but the quality of the craftsmanship is also something that I'm concerned with, and they didn't look very good. So that was there is a balance there for sure. And so we started making a pros and cons list of both tools. I actually started requesting manufacturer samples from some different companies on both of them, seeing if someone would send one out for some content. I haven't heard back on any of those, but we have a plan, and we're not buying any more tools until we sell some stuff, unless we need it for something like a cabin build or something like that. So we have some time. And so there's a plan there, but we put a hold on the dice and the dominoes just because it wasn't a satisfactory product in my mind. So we'll get back to that when we have a solution and a better product to sell. Did you guys buy any Bitcoin yesterday? We got down below 100,000. We're sitting right now. Looks like 101,248. So we're up from yesterday. 101,248. We saw 99 yesterday. Did you buy the dip? If you did, you should have some place to send that secure. And one place to do that would be the Blockstream Jade or the Blockstream Jade Plus. They're open source Bitcoin hardware wallets that put your privacy and self-custody in your own hands. I've used both versions, and while the original Jade is perfect for beginners and experienced users alike, the Jade Plus levels up with a bigger screen, button navigation, and is even a slick metal case option. I really like the metal case on the Jade Plus. Solid hardware wallets, solid. It's something that you can buy, and it will last you through your Bitcoin journey. I don't know what you would have what you discover on your Bitcoin journey that would make you unhappy with the Jade long term. What are you waiting for? Jim says I may or may not have bought the dip, and may or may not have already moved it to my Jade. Like Homestead says, unless you wash and dry it. Oh, geez. How'd that go? I'm guessing that's something you're saying from experience. That's not a random thing that somebody would say. Did it work? Did it hold up? I don't know if they guarantee waterproof washer and dryer proof. If you let it dry out, it might actually work. I don't know. I haven't run mine through the washer dryer yet. Um, definitely avoid that if possible. I don't think you need to do any testing on that, but pick up the Blockstream Jade or Jade Plus. Jim says, "Well, you got to clean your Bitcoin and polish it to a nice shine." You can get 10% off with code. The Lots Project, I believe, is the code. Yeah, the Lots Project, or you can click the link in the video description. Mike says it still works, but the passcode is tough. The numbers roll fast. Oh, it must be on the original Jade with the scroll button. I was very happy when the Jade Plus came out. The price point is a little steeper, but man, the all button operation, getting away from the scroll bar, was definitely something that I preferred once I saw that. So glad it still works for you. Trying to think if I have one. If I still have another sample model. I think I gave them all away at some point. I know I don't have a Jade Plus sample model. And it hasn't opened as Plus yet. Plus is nice. I really like it. I still have the regular Jade here. But I definitely have transitioned to using the Jade Plus more. So what else do I have on the list here? Hey, good morning, Rewilder Life. Thanks for stopping in. She says better late than never. Just realized it's Monday. Monday. Every day's Saturday when you own your own business or you're retired. So it is what it is. I guess I shouldn't say when you own your own business. You got to actually take care of business when you're still working. But that was my dad's. Line when he retired. He had been retired for a while, and I asked him how it was going, and he said every day is Saturday. It's like you could go out and party the night before, and you don't got to go to work the next day, and it's just Saturday. It's not Sunday where you're bumming. You got to go back to work on Monday. It's not one of your work days during the week, and so that kind of makes perfect sense. So for a long time on the show, I talked about our truck and our truck issues, the troubleshooting we went through, the parts we changed. I was having check engine lights come on constantly. I was having misfires, and went through the motions. We changed plugs, we changed wires, we changed coil packs. It was still having some issues, and I was leaning towards injectors. Until I dove in one day while I was doing laundry and ended up clearing the long-term and short-term trim memories, and everything healed up. Everything started running smooth. Check engine lights went away, and this has been weeks. No problems. It's been running great. The other day I was driving and went out to the property, and all of a sudden I looked down and the check engine light's on. It wasn't flashing. It wasn't, and I didn't notice it. It wasn't running rough. It didn't run. It didn't have any issues. But the check engine light was on, and I was just confused. I was like, "Oh man, what's going on?" But since it wasn't flashing, I went about the day, kind of put it out of my mind, and I was desensitized to it so much from it being on for so long, and the fact that it wasn't running rough. And it wasn't flashing. I just kind of forgot about it, and went through the motions. It went through enough cycles starting without any issues, and it just cleared itself. And I haven't even went out and put the code reader on it to see what it actually was. But check engine light mystery came back and went away. I'm guessing it might have been some of the moisture in the round. I don't know. I really don't know. But like I said, it didn't hesitate. It didn't have any skips. It didn't make any noise. It was having no issues. So I have no idea what that was about. I'm sure I can look into history when I grab the reader and I take the time to do it. But we'll see. We'll see. It is not on now. And I don't know if I've ever told you guys about our radio in that truck. So our truck is a 2011 F-250, and it is a work truck base model. Like it was a company truck before we bought it. Company had it the life of the truck up to 100 and some thousand miles. You could definitely tell it was a supervisor's truck. Like there's a hesitation point in the window where you could tell the guy sat and smoked his cigarettes. Has holes drilled for a CB. Had a light on the top. You can see they fixed that, and all sorts of things. It's just telltale signs that it was a supervisor's truck for a company. So with that, basically it had I don't know if it was might have been a cassette player still. There wasn't a CD player in it. It was and it didn't have the audio inputs or anything like that. And so when we got it, I wanted to be able to, since we were going to be hitting the road, I wanted to be able to put the GPS up on the screen. And so I looked for aftermarket radios. I didn't want to spend $1 million. I didn't want to have to have somebody install it. That's something I did when I was back in high school. I used to do the things with my friends and and use Crutchfield and order radios and put in amps, and all of that stuff was something that my friends group and we did to vehicles once we got that age. And so I was familiar with replacing stereos. And so I ordered one off of Amazon that was supposed to fit. And so it kind of fits. It installs it's in the dash. It sits a little crooked. I wasn't very happy with that. Corey said, I don't give a shit about it. And I was like, all right, well, we'll leave it. I'm not returning it and getting a new one. This one came with a backup camera that got hooked up. That it kind of worked for a little bit, and then we actually went ahead and bought an aftermarket camera that had two cameras, one for the back of the camper and one for the back of the truck. So basically I unhooked the one that went to the radio, and so we just had the radio. So it's got a big screen in the dash. When the screen is on, I can see it. Corey can't. The angle and the glare and things like that, she can't see it really well. So she just really doesn't give a shit about the stereo or anything like that. She's not a huge fan of GPS to begin with. And so basically I navigate when she drives. But it worked okay. All of a sudden, probably, I don't know, a year ago, maybe a little more, the radio would randomly just not come on. The buttons light up and the radio, it just never cycles on. And this will happen sporadically. It'll happen 4 or 5 times in a row when you start the truck and drive. And then for 4 or 5 times, it'll just come on and work. And I have no idea why. It's not... from what I can tell, it's not a loose connection, because it doesn't ever go off once it's on, and it doesn't ever come on once it's off, if that makes sense. Like once you start the vehicle, if it comes on, it's on. If it's off, it doesn't come on. It doesn't matter how many bumps you go over or where you drive, how long you drive. It doesn't change if it doesn't start. So I don't really necessarily listen to anything when I drive anyway. And even when it comes on, a lot of times I just turn it all the way down. There isn't a ton of radio stations around that come in real well. If they do come in, they don't come in for your whole drive because of all the hills. So it doesn't really bother me that it doesn't come on. I normally drive in silence. But it's kind of a mystery to me. And so for the longest time recently, it hasn't come on at all. I was like, oh, this thing's finally dead. It had been probably a couple dozen times I'd driven places that hadn't come on. And I actually noticed it one day, and I was looking at it, and I was like, "Oh man, I wonder if that radio is dead." It just hasn't worked in for so long. Maybe I should just pull it out of there and see what's going on with it. And literally the next time I went out, it was to go get groceries on Saturday morning with Corey, and I started the truck and the radio came on, and I was like, when I drove home from the property on Friday and it didn't come on, I was sitting here thinking I should probably look at this thing. It hasn't been on in forever, and the next time, boom, it pops on. So we have this funky mystery radio that I don't know. I don't know what the deal. It was an Amazon special, and it never really worked completely right. So I'm not too concerned about it. But anyway, that's another issue with our big wonky old truck, and it is what it is. It is what it is. We'll be excited to get out to the place and get caught up on some finances and be able to buy a runner vehicle to get around and stop beating the crap out of this truck that we just hope holds on until we get to that point. So anyway. Hey, did you guys hear the big news over the weekend? U.S. How should I put this? The U.S. flexed its muscles and bombed the shit out of Iran. Oh, man. I don't know. Jim asked if I'm sure the truck isn't haunted. It might be. It completely might be. It might be. We bombed Iran. Same old, guys. So if you've been under a rock, Israel and Iran are fighting again. The Middle East is a shit show, as it normally is. This is nothing new. It's been going on since I can remember and long before that. We had this guy, Orange Man, run this time as the president of peace. He's going to get us out of the Afghanistan. He's going to get everything in the Middle East, peace and blah blah blah. And he's going to solve all the world's problems. I mean, to his credit, he did. I think he withdrew everybody out of Afghanistan finally. Or maybe that was Biden. Was that Biden that turned tail and ran out of there and left all the shit? Was that the end of it, or did he end up bringing people home? I don't know. I think that he brought some of the people home. I don't know. I just try not to watch anything about it. But he feels as though he is the great deal maker of the world. And he brokered a deal in Pakistan and India and blah, 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 blah. Let me know if you've ever heard this line before. Iran is close to getting nukes, and we can't let Iran get nukes. This was the... Hold on, guys. I don't want... Jesus Christ. Why... No, I'm not updating my computer right now. Oh, sorry. Okay. Iran was going to have nukes within days this time. Before it was always within months or years or months or weeks or days. Iran was going to have nukes, and for some reason Iran would launch nukes, knowing that was going to be the end of the world, basically. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand. Jim says get Linux. Yeah, I know, dude. I don't have the patience nor the time at the moment to figure out Linux. I wish I could. I dabbled in Linux with the Raspberry Pi projects, and it is what it is. I don't have the time right now. I wish I did. Anyway, Saturday night, I think it was, we get a big news announcement that the big bad U.S. has bombed Iran's nuclear sites. Bomb the shit out of them. Bomb the shit out of them, guys. And it felt like a replay of we're getting back into bullshit that we just don't need to be involved in. I wasn't sure what the reaction was going to be. I was pretty sure that there were going to be a lot of people on both sides, and it really turned out that way. But I was very I was scrolling through my friends feed on Facebook. So if you don't know, there's a little tab that says friends, and I was scrolling through that, and I have a wide mix of demographics on my friends feed. It was interesting to see the reactions of the MAGA people. Jim says we just bombed back into a Cold War, or at least cooler. Yeah, the MAGA people were just like, our president is the best, and blah 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 blah. And then the lefties were and centrists and anarchists and voluntarists were like, why the fuck are we even doing any of this? Actually, the centrists, voluntarists, anarchists were like, why do we care? And the lefties were like, he didn't have the authorization to do that. We should have voted on it. And I was reading it all going, I don't understand why. As if there were going to be no repercussions. Now, this is my bigger issue with this. If you felt that Iran was a threat, which I don't think, I don't know if they're going to end the world. And really, any nuclear aggression, I think, is I don't see that turning out all that great. Whether it be just your world or the whole world, I think if at this point you launch nukes at someone, it's not going to end well for just you or the whole world. But regardless, they felt that they needed to take out their nuclear facilities. Yesterday, I saw a bunch of posts with the B-52 bombers. It was such propaganda bullshit. Just cheering on the B-52 bombers as they return to the United States, and like, why do our bombers that took out these things in Iran, why are they stationed in Missouri all the time? Wouldn't they deploy from somewhere closer to Iran? I'm not a military strategist or logistics operations person, so I don't know. But I see these posts from Orange Man himself, and then people all across the country seeing the B-52 bombers coming back, and oh, it's the greatest thing, and he's the greatest savior of the world, and whatever. Do you believe that there won't be any repercussions of this? Iran, I guess, told him before this happened, and you didn't see it very much publicized in the news until after, or at least I didn't, and that's probably because I try not to consume it too much. But they said if there's any strikes on their nuclear facilities, that there's going to be we're gonna not be happy with the reply, the rebuttal, I guess. And then soon after, there's been talks of sleeper cells in the United States. And it just made me think, with 4 years of unfettered streaming across our borders, not that and it's so we've gotten to a point here philosophically. I don't know why we have borders. I mean, and I do understand why we need borders, because we have a welfare state here. We have a function that takes from earners and gives to people in this country, that if we have open borders, it's an invitation to come and just take. I think it was it Thomas Sowell or Milton Friedman, one of the two, I can't place which it was, said you can have a welfare state or you can have open borders, but you can't have both. Just think about it for a second and you can understand why. But we've had open borders for 4 years. This was one of the things that Orange Man ran on. And it is what it is. We don't know who's here, which it wouldn't be a problem if we weren't big bullies. I put in our group, in the Telegram group the other day, that listening to Trump talk and showing his bravado around the world, and it just feels like when you were a kid and there was that bully that had a group of thugs behind him, i.e. the U.S. military, that they could go run his mouth. Might be a little bigger than other kids, but even if something happened, that nothing rarely happens because he's got all the thugs behind him. Can basically go and do as he says and manipulate and say what he wants. But every once in a while, even though that kid knows he's going to get his shit kicked out of him, some kid bows up and just knocks the snot out of him. And I have this weird feeling that that's going to be the case. And I don't know. I don't know how much we'll like it if somebody decides that they'll just not try to knock the shit out of the bully, even though they know they're going to get their ass pummeled after. Seeing reports that Iran has sleeper cells in the United States, which wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. If Iran and a bunch of other people that don't like us have people here in our country. Like I said, 4 years, we don't know who's here. It might have been a good idea to know if you were going to go running your mouth and bombing people all over the world. So we will see. I think there also could be ample opportunity to use that to advantage. That's a long road to go down right now, but man, any crisis, don't let any crisis go to waste. Anything that happens in this country that's terroristically related always seems to take away all our freedoms or more of them anytime they happen. So keep an eye out for that. I just also saw here right before the show, I was reading an article that the State Department issues a worldwide caution security alert. No shit, we bombed some people, and the State Department saying, be careful out there. People want to kill you now. Weird. It's the same old shit that's happened time after time after time. I think I saw something, a graphic, an infographic yesterday or the day before that had way back to Bush 1, everyone saying that Iran is about ready to have nukes. We need to do something about Iran. We need to do something about Iran. And then Trump's here and he saved us because we needed another fucking war to be in. Is nobody going to come to Iran's defense, or did I see that Putin is already backing Iran at this point? And the U.S. is telling China to talk to Iran to make sure that they don't close the Straits of Hormuz. This is it's going to get interesting. I don't think that bombing their nuclear facilities is the end of this situation. Like all the pro MAGA people, the pro bombing people seem to think it is in my posts. The rhetoric that I saw was one and done. We went in and why, I'm not sure it's why it's we. I didn't do anything and I didn't choose to and I wouldn't have chosen to, but we went in and took care of business and it's done. Rah, 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 flex the muscles, bullshit. I think this is far from done. I have no insider information or any reason to believe that I just have a feeling, and I'm observant, and people don't get bombs dropped on them and just go, oh well, I'm done. I don't hate you anymore. It's only been thousands of years that we've been in conflict with people all around us. We'll just stop now. This isn't the end of this shit. And I saw regime. I saw the word regime change yesterday. I think it was Rachel over in the Telegram group. I posted yesterday a meme that said propaganda works by anchor, then pivot. It's only a bomb. Don't cry, you baby. A few bombs, but there was not a regime change. And we've heard this already. We've heard this. It's only a bomb. We just bombed their nuclear facilities. We had to. We couldn't let them get nukes. And it'll be a few more bombs because something will happen. And then we're going to need to have a regime change because they won't deal with us. They won't make a deal. They just won't make a deal. We need to get somebody in there that'll make a deal. These guys are crazy. I'm offering a great deal, and we'll only need to put some boots on the ground there to secure the regime change. I don't know. I've heard this before, but yeah. Rachel said government gaslighting abuse, and said if your spouse did this, ... And for sure, if your spouse did this, if your spouse went down these lines, you could probably have them brought up on abuse charges. But our government does it to us for the last since they were established, I guess. So anyway, keep your eyes open, guys. I think we have things to worry about both externally and internally. I don't know how much we can do about any of it. So take care of yourselves and just live your life. Know what you're rooting for. If you're for this or you're against this, or you just want to stay the hell out of it. grow some food, take care of yourself, and live your life. And it is what it is, I guess. But I don't think this shit's over. So keep an eye out. Other than that, I think we can get out of here and get wrapped up. Like I said, no show next week. Got some stuff to take care of there. If you want to keep up with us and hang out, you can check out the Telegram group at t.me/lots-chat. That's t.me/lots-chat. Be happy to have you over there. Great group of folks. We have some fun. We have some laughs. We talk about all sorts of stuff. And other than that, you can go to thelotsproject.com. And on that page, by the way, the Amazon sales have ticked up a little bit. I appreciate anybody that's gone over there to thelotsproject.com and clicked on the banner before you did your Amazon shopping. If you are going to be shopping on Amazon, please stop by the Lots, LOTS project.com. Right above the fold there on the home page, there's a banner that says, if you're shopping on Amazon today, click on this. Click on it, and I will get a little credit for anything you buy in that shopping trip, and I appreciate that. It helps fund all of this stuff. I hope you have an awesome week. Actually, I hope you have an awesome 2 weeks. Hope you have a happy 4th of July. Maybe some significant dates coming up in the next couple of weeks. Watch out for that 4th of July. Was it going to be beware the 4th of July instead of beware the Ides of March? I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, guys, have a fantastic day. Have a great week. Get some shit done. We'll see you in a couple of Mondays.